So let's talk about the potential bull market, the 2024 things that you should be doing realistically. There's 5 things I've outlined on a sticky note. I know you can't see it because it's like, yeah, but it's here. And I think these are important because I get asked these questions all the time. And I thought, well, I'm in the education space. I do YouTube videos. Thought, let's go through it. First things you need to know. Buy as low as you possibly can. A lot of people don't even look at the chart. They just follow the hype, they start to copy. So number 1 could be a big caveat of 2 things. Buy as low as you possibly can, but caveat to that is don't just copy people. I've been new as well. I know what you all do. I mean, when I first came to the market in 2016, essentially, I was like just looking on the likes of CoinMarketCap and Poloniex and blockchain.com, etc. I know. Looking at, I'll just buy it. Didn't care about the price. Didn't know anything about technical analysis back then. You need to understand how that works, and we'll go on to that in a bit more detail in a second. But something that people often miss off as well, you need to be aware of a bull and a bear cycle, right? If you're watching this video, you're probably thinking, what are you on about? But a lot of people will come into this market at the wrong time. And I know I'm talking to a select few of you who probably bought at the top of the market. I know people that do that. I know a lot of people that do that. So if we look back in time, there's always going to be people that buy in and around this 15, 16, 17K back in the hype cycle of December 2017. Hi. People did that. You know, then you got other people that did it in like the May time where it was like 63,000 and again, roughly 60,000 again in that November time in 2021. Same with altcoins. It always happens, right? So trick is, I know it sounds obvious, but buy as far away from all-time high as possible. That increases your probability of making profits. And also don't copy people because when you don't do research, it's annoying. I tweeted about it not too long ago. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter. I do some nice nuggets sometimes when I'm in the mood for it, where people ask simple questions, and it's the same in the personal training industry. It's the same in the finance industry, in other markets. It's the same in everything, right? Asking the dumb questions like, what do I buy? When do I buy? What should I buy? Right? If that makes sense? Because you're just asking for trouble. The next bit, and it sounds very obvious, is to ignore, easier said than done, I know, market corrections in a bull market, right? So if we're looking at the last year or so from Bitcoin's point of view, we've had 1 20% correction, 2 20% correction, 3 20% correction. We're currently 13% correcting right now, right? There is always going to be corrections. It happens all the time. You get people, they get all the runs of like, well, we've went up for 8 weeks, cool. One bad week, everyone loses their shit and loses their mind. It's so bad. So yeah, the structure is key. Until you see a structure break, that is when you need to start worrying. What a structure break is, well, it's 2 things. You can have a moving average on your chart. If it's below that certain moving average, say on the weekly time frame, maybe start to panic. The other situation is a structure break where you see a lower high in structure, where price stops going up, right? You know, when we're looking at this sort of situation where it continues going higher, but actually what it does is it fails. Totally fails on the higher time frame. The higher time frame, not the lower ones, not the 1 hour, not the 4 hour. When we start to see stuff, situation like that, and then we start seeing a break of structure like that, we'll go below lines, and it starts getting ugly, and everyone starts crying, right? That's where you start to see a little bit of bearishness, right? There's so many things. Technical analysis can be looked at multiple ways. As they say, there's many ways to skin a cat, right? So that's the obvious. However, mindset and the psychological element of that is huge because panic is in the air. And as we always say, when it's low, it's time to buy. When it's high, it's time to sell, right? Same situation. Other things, these aren't really points, but I just want to make a note of it. If you are genuinely struggling, join that. Or that. There you go. That way. Good community. Same, if you want it, you know, if you want, see this bit here? Education? Do it. I'm kind of sick of people coming to me after they've lost a lot of money. People are like, well, I'll put $500 into this, hoping to make money, lose all the money, and they're like, and then they come to me later on. Annoying. Anyways, number 3. Stay with me. Because dominance and the dollar. The dollar is important to note where money is going around the whole entire market. There's a trend here. Watch. When the dollar goes down pretty badly, you often find that we have bull markets, right? Very, very clear. And I know it sounds obvious. Look what's happened here since this sort of time period. If you look at like January onwards with Bitcoin, we've had a nice little run, right? Even on this period here where we've had a nice little flow. Keep an eye on the dollar. Another situation, obviously dominance. I talk about dominance a lot. When this is going down, altcoins are running. Yay! When it's going up, your altcoins are bleeding. Get the idea? So that sort of vibe is kind of important. Understand what side of the fence you need to be on. That's hugely important. So if you're buying as low as you possibly can, if you're ignoring the corrections and you are keeping an eye on dominance and you are watching things go up in a zoomed out approach going up or down and you're on the right side of it, there's a good chance you're going to make some profit at some point in the future, right? Second to last is, and you'll know this, taking profits at key levels. Regardless of what you're buying, regardless of levels or whatever you're buying, I don't care, right? Realistically, again, people ask me, what are your thoughts on this coin? What are your thoughts on that? I don't give a shit. I really don't, right? I've got my picks, you've got your picks. But what you need to do is have a bit of level-headedness in terms of myself, and I are going to take profits at certain levels because I think it's good to make money in an investment environment. Who'd have thought? But you get the idea. Some people don't do that. So looking at Polkadot, I've talked about this before in videos, $23, $24 at this level is probably a nice area to go, you know what? If I bought at $4, $3, $4, whatever, $2, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, I'll sell. Why not? Right? Not all your bag. Please don't get confused. Take something off the table. Because when that table starts to get fat, and then it starts to get set on fire because you've lost all your money, it hurts. And that, in my opinion, is the worst thing in the world, right? Take profit at key little levels. Now, these can be subjective. Everyone's got a different way of doing it. I like to look at the fibs and structure at the same time to see a confluence or a zone. You don't have to do that. You can pick a round number. You can pick $20, $30, $40, $50. Who cares, right? Just keep an eye on that. And the last thing, the one that people don't understand. Less bags. Do not hold too many. This happens a lot. Learning crypto is a great example of this. We get a lot of people that come in. As I say, learning crypto for some reason grows a lot in the bear market. We get a lot of people come in because a lot of people get wrecked and destroyed, and then we start to unpick what they've done. And usually this is a very common theme. They have too many coins. They can't keep on top of it. There's too much going on. There's too much mentalness going on. And then you're spread out too thin on a load of shit coins and you're trying to get rich and gamble and make yourself loads of money. And sometimes it does work, but it's very rare it happens. Now, if you've got like 1% of your portfolio in like a dog shit coin, you're not going to get rich overnight with that. But if you've got better coins and more of them and you're keeping an eye on them, the multiples are quite nice. So if look at DOT, for example, right? If you got like, say, I wouldn't say most of your portfolio, let's just say 15% of your entire portfolio in DOT, and DOT does like a 20x, for example, random pick number, from the point of when you bought. Say if you bought at $4 and it went up to 80, right? That is a lot of money. But if you only had, say, 3% in DOT because you've got 18 to 25 other bags, you're not going to make that much money, are you? So you got to think of the logical side of it. Have a separation bag of shit coins, meme coins, degenerate shit. I do that. Why not? But your main bags don't. And this is my rule, not your rule. It could be your rule. I like to have Bitcoin and 5 altcoins or 6 at a push. Realistically, I don't go anywhere further than that because I like to split them quite nicely, because I know that it makes me more money because I'm playing with more size. That's just my rule, right? I don't have to go for that, but ultimately, if you go to rule number 1, buy as low as you possibly can, and you're buying solid quality asset and you can put a little bit more risk in, having a bigger bag, you could make a lot more money versus the gambling side of, oh, I'll just buy $500 worth of sausage coin and hope it goes well, and hope the liquidity doesn't get rugged. But that does happen quite a lot, so you got to be careful. It's like the stock market and penny stocks, stuff like that. There's always obvious picks where you go and buy big, solid companies versus the little shit ones in the shed. Some of them don't quite work. But anyways, if you like this stuff, please do subscribe to the channel. If you want more of this realistic element of potential what could be happening in the bull market, yeah. So to recap, number one, you got to buy as low as you possibly can. Ignore the noise. Number two, of corrections and all that kind of stuff. Number three, keep your eye on the dominance of Bitcoin and also the dollar index, which is huge. Number four, take profits at key levels for obvious reasons. And number five, try not to have way too many bags. It is hard, that part, I will be honest with you. Why? Because I like to buy everything too. And I know I do a lot of YouTube videos, and I often see myself talking about, say, something, I don't know, Chainlink, Metis, whatever. And I really want to buy it now, but I can't because I don't have any more money left. Awkward.